Hi, I'm Dr. Kennedy over at Highland Park Animal Hospital, and I'm talking to you today about heartworm disease in cats, which is much less common. So, my assistant Joel is going to ask some questions, and we're going to go through this and kind of get an overview of the topic and answer these questions.
Dr. Kennedy, what is heartworm in cats?
Yeah, heartworm in cats is a little bit of a more complicated disease process than it is in dogs. So they are still infected very similarly to a dog with a mosquito bite. However, cats are not the preferred host by this type of parasite. So it is less common to see infections in cats, but not impossible. So they will typically have a couple factors that make the infection different from dogs. Typically they have a lot less worm burden, as we say, where there is fewer worms in their system than there are dogs, and the lifespan of those worms is a little bit shorter, but it can still cause pretty disastrous side effects in your pet. So good to be preventing and detecting.
You mentioned that it's not common for cats to get heartworms. How do they get them?
Yeah, it is still through a mosquito bite. The mosquito basically transfers a premature or an immature form of the heartworm to the pet, whether it's a dog or a cat. And that larva goes through a development process in the pet to turn into an adult heartworm. And at that point, it is reproducing in dogs. They don't reproduce in cats. And shedding more larvae that then can be spread to other pets through a mosquito vector. So it is not directly pet to pet. There is a vector, which is the mosquito, in between.
What do veterinarians recommend as heartworm prevention for cats?
Yeah, I like a broad spectrum prevention in cats. We sell Revolution here. I think it's great. It's easy to use. It's topical. No one likes pilling their cat. Covers for fleas and heartworms, which is great. Two of our more common feline parasites. But it is important to bring up that prevention is important in cats. You know, people say, oh, my cat's indoor, doesn't go outside. You know, there's mosquitoes that get in your house. It just takes one, people. So making sure that we are doing prevention for indoor cats, even that cat that just goes on his catio for a couple hours. It is definitely possible for them to contract heartworm disease, and prevention is really important. So keep up with that. Revolution or a pill product, whatever your preference is fine by me as long as they're getting it.
How do you spot heartworm symptoms in cats?
They are challenging. Getting a diagnosis of heartworm disease in cats can be a little hard. So they can be lethargic, vomiting, coughing, have asthmatic signs. They are a lot broader and less specific than dogs, and detection is also more challenging. So best treatment is prevention. Don't let them get it in the first place.
How will a veterinarian diagnose heartworm in your cat?
Yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge. With dogs, our antigen testing is very specific. It takes a little bit for it to become positive. In dogs, it takes about 6 months for that test to, for the heartworm infection to be detectable by our antigen tests. In cats, it can be challenging. Sometimes they do not pop positive on those tests despite having an infection. So sometimes we need to do additional testing. It's not uncommon to do multiple blood tests in a cat to confirm or negate a suspicion of heartworms. So it is very important that we are preventing this disease.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah. It has been very helpful. This is a lesser known disease process, I think, than it is in dogs, but it's good to remind people, keep that prevention on board. There is no treatment. That's important to note as well once we have an infection. So prevent. And if you have any questions or concerns, please give us a call and we can consult you on your prevention practices, or if you have a suspicion that your pet may be heartworm positive, getting that tested and seeing what we can do for your pet.